and welcome. I'm Jenna. This is the Stamper's Mess. I'm not live this week because I'm teaching my class, but I am here with a pre-recorded video to show you what I've been working on, and that's all about the new in colours. So I've shown you the colours before, but this time around I'm going to show you some projects that I've made with them because I've had a chance to play and I'm having so much fun. So I am having a little difficulty with one. You'll guess which colour that is, and I'll show you when I get to that one, but I'm having fun playing with the rest of them. So I'm going to take you and I'm going to show you the products I've been using, and I'm going to show you the projects I've been making. So I'm just going to come down to my table. So you'll know the colours now. So we have Copper Clay, Wild Wheat, Boho Blue, Moody Mauve and Pebbled Path. So those are those brand new in colours. So that's separate from the new core colours, and it's separate from the returning in colours that are now core colours. So these are the 5 colours that will be with us for 2 years. So that's all of 2023, what we're left of 2023 through 2024, and they will retire during 2025. So 2 full years, and you can get loads of products in these colours. So I have quite a few of the products, and so I was going to show you what they were, and I've played with them. So these are the pattern stacks. So these are 6x6 pieces, and you get multiple sheets in each colour. And there are 2 double-sided designs, and you get multiples of them in each colour. So there's this design here has the stripes, excuse me, sorry. This has the stripes, and on the other side it has the dots. So they're all a little bit uneven, they're kind of brush strokes and they're uneven circles, so it's not a fully formatted thing, there's still that element of distress to them. And this side has the hearts, and the other side has that kind of stitching look. And so you get each of those in each of the colours, both sets of patterns. And I've used some of them already. So sorry, I can't remember how many of each sheet you get in this. You can also get them in the whole colour collections, and those you have all 10 colours. So this one you get a few more of each sheet because it's just 5 of the colours. So all of those different colours. So we have our pattern papers as well. And then we have our blends markers. So you've got 2 shades for each colour. So that's our Copper Clay, you get a dark and a light, and the same with all of them. So I've got pairs of colours to work with. There's obviously the ink pads, there's one in each of the colours, and then I've also, within the colour range, I've had these ribbons to play with as well. So this is, it's a textured ribbon. They call it, let me see, textured ribbon. So it has a texture to it. You can feel that texture, but it's also quite easy to work with. It's not a stiff ribbon. It's not soft like a velvet, but it's soft in terms of being able to work with it, tie it in a bow, all of that kind of thing. But it's also quite solid enough that when you go to stick it on a card front, you can actually run the adhesive directly along it, and you can just stick it onto a card just like that. So those are the colour products that I've been working with, and I set myself a challenge to make 5 cards, one focusing on each of these colours, using this combination of things. Excuse me, my asthma is playing up again, and I'm having a little trouble with breathing, but I'll get through. So I'm going to move these out of the way, because in addition to the in colours, the challenge I set myself was to just use new products. So I didn't get a huge amount in my pre-order. There's lots of things in the new catalogue that I want, but they weren't included in the Demonstrator pre-order. So I didn't get a huge range of products. So what I had to work with is these 2 punch bundles. So I didn't use the punch, but I did use the monkeys. And then the circle sayings and the circle punch, and I used both of those. So I had these 2 bundles, and then I had some individual products. So I had this stamp set here, Stamped with Love, which is our Angel Policy stamp set, because it has the copyright stamping up there to use. And I had the Crafting with You die bundle. So there's a set of dies that go with that, and I used that stamp set as well. And then I had this set of layering dies with the corners cut off. They are called Countryside Corners dies. So they're layering, but they aren't it's not a rectangle, it's got the corners cut off. So those were what I had to work with, and I had to make 5 cards, one focusing on each of the new colours. So what I came up with are these. So there was this one here, and I've used that monkey stamp set. So not the punch, so I've stamped, I might bring it back so you can see what I've done. I've stamped one of the monkeys. You've got 3 monkeys to choose from. And I stamped him and I fussy cut him out because we have a punch, not a die set. So there's just one punch that punches out this monkey down here. And so what I did is I fussy cut him. I stamped the branch in the background and I used the greeting. So this is my copper clay card because it was a perfect colour to use my blends and make my little monkey a copper clay monkey. And so I've used that brush stroke in the background, and you can see I've already started using those layering dies. So that was my first card. My second card, this is a struggle. This was actually the very last card I made. This is my wild wheat card. And so this one uses the crafting bundle. So this one is the, oh, I lost it, sorry, coming back. Crafting with You bundle. And again, I've used those layering dies to put that element on, and I've used the bit of the paper that can look a little bit like a basket weave. And so I teamed it with a little basket there. So I made it look like a basket weave. I've used some Pebble Path to help me out in this one. And I've used a little bit of Moody Mauve in the stamping to just add a bit more colour, because I do struggle with this one. But I think it's okay. I'm happy enough with that one. And then the next card was my Boho Blue. So this is a lot of people's favourite new in colour. And I used that same bundle, that Crafting With You bundle, and I used the easel part. So it looks like the easel has this already on it, but this is actually a separate stamp that you can add, but you can add anything you want into that easel panel. And I decided to go with a greeting and added a couple of hearts. And so again, I've used a bit of Moody Mauve and I've coloured with a couple of the other in colours with the blends just to add a little bit of colour to my, my paintbrushes, basically. And then I've used the ribbon on this one. So this is just straight across, and I've actually wrapped it round underneath the pattern paper layer so it doesn't come around on the back, but I've wrapped it around so it's got nice neat edges. And each of them has an inside, so I've got the paintbrushes again in there, and I have the banana for the monkey in that one, and this one has the balls of wool that are from the front. So I do like to do something for the inside. So I think this one is my favourite card, but I've got a couple more to show you. So I also did a Moody Mauve card, and that's this one here. So this used the Circle Sayings bundle. So I used that circle punch and I used the circle stamps. So this one here has a few different options, and so I used the Celebrate and I used the Cupcake, and I coloured that in with my Moody Mauve blends, and I also used a bit of Pebble Path there as well to contrast it. Again, I've used the ribbon and I've wrapped it around the pattern paper. So you can see here I'm using some of the different patterns. I did use this pattern twice because my preference in these pattern papers is actually one that's more the colour and less white. So in most cases I like this kind of style where there's a little bit of white and it's a lot of the colour. This one is it's about half and half, and I like that. And this one I had to use because I had this circle concept to it, so I used the circles in the paper. So there's another one as well. So I don't think I used the hearts side in any of these 5 cards. No, I didn't. But I will show you something with that as well. So my final card is my Pebble Path card. And this one, I kind of decided to go for something kind of simple that would work for as a masculine card. And this one uses the stamp set that is stamped with love. So I actually started with the post box. And in my stamp set, I've got my post box ready to go, and I'll use it on another project. But I ended up using the envelopes. So I coloured it in. So I cheated a little bit, and because it's my rules, I guess I can cheat. I used the Lost Lagoon markers that are also brand new, but I was going to team that with Pebble Path. So I was going to have Lost Lagoon and Pebble Path, but I ended up going with the envelopes rather than the post box. So that'll be there for another project, and you may well see it another time. But I just kind of store it in the stamp case while I'm waiting to decide what to do with it. So this one, I really quite liked just the simplicity of stamping the happy birthday, and that actually came from one of the others, the Circle Sayings stamp set. I pulled the greeting out of that one because I wanted to make a birthday card, and I had that happy birthday in there. And just a tiny bit of colouring. And then on the inside of this one, I've carried it through with the pattern paper because there wasn't another stamp. Like if I had the pen separately, I would have stamped the pen on its own on the inside. there wasn't another stamp that worked with what I was already using. But one way you can do it when you have the pattern paper is to put a little bit of that pattern paper on the inside, and that carries that theme through just as well. So that's that little bit there. And again, I've used that ribbon and it's wrapped around the pattern paper edge, so you don't have to deal with the ends. I don't think I showed you on this one, the inside I used the pattern paper as well. So that was my 5 cards that I made. So I set myself a challenge and I did all of this in one day. I did all of this yesterday. I set myself that challenge of wanting to make 5 cards that don't quite fit. Oh, I've lost my screen. Okay, come on back, come on back. I think it's still going. It's just gone to sleep for me. And so I can't see what I'm doing. So let me just bring my screen back and I will be able to see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can see my projects while I'm trying to do this. I have to wake up my screen. Oh, and it's gone into pause mode. Trying again, waking it up. Okay, now I can see my screen and we're just about done. So I should just show you one more thing and then hopefully it won't go to sleep again while I'm doing that. So the one extra card I made, so I made all of these. In fact, I made this last, I made this afterwards. What I did first was I made another card using the wild wheat. So that's this one. And I think I was overthinking things. I was using that circle sayings bundle and I used it with the punch. So there's the circle sayings. And I used several of the stamps, the sending you and the smile. And then this one I did up the other way to do on the bottom of there. And then the reason for that is the wild wheat kind of looked like sand to me. And when I saw the shells, I thought, oh, brilliant, it's going to be sand color on that. So I made this little circle, but then I couldn't figure out what to do with it. So this is the card where I did use the other pattern paper. We've got the hearts and I did actually put a bow rather than just the strip of ribbon. But I was having a bit of trouble because this isn't my favorite color. It's not a horrible color, but it's not my go-to and it's certainly not something I would use as the main feature. It's something that I would use in small amounts. So I was trying to blend it out a little bit by adding some other colors. So by highlighting the moody mauve and adding lots of white, I was trying to tone down how much wild wheat there was, and I think I overthought it, did too many layers, did too many things, and it looked a bit messy. So what I did is I came back and I made a separate wild wheat card, and instead of trying to get rid of the color, I just went, this color is not my choice, it's not what I would make this in as my first choice of color, but some people will like it, so I'm just going to make it in that color and then accept that it's perhaps not my favorite color. So I ended up with 6 cards. So I cheated a little bit, and believe it or not, the color that I struggled with the most and is my least favorite is the one I've got 2 of. But I should have made more of the blue or more of the moody mauve because they're my favorites. But as it is, I did this, and you can see. I hope I explained my thought process with those. So I've ended up with an extra one, and oh no, I didn't end up doing an inside on that one because I wasn't happy with it. So there we go. I'm going to come back to me now, and. I hope you've enjoyed that. I just wanted to show you some of the things I've been making because I spent a whole day making lots of different things and got completely immersed in all of these different projects. And I really enjoyed it and it was a great challenge and I wanted to share with you what I've made. I will be back again live next week. For now, this is just a pre-recorded one. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please feel free to comment. Let me know. I will be checking the comments. My class finishes about 1 o'clock, so I will be checking and having a look once the video's up and if anybody's been watching. So thank you very much and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.